explain it. What happened? I just can tell you my honest reaction.
This is the moment when Jalen Brazier broke down in tears in court after being convicted of his cousin's murder. Jalen Brazier is a man who gained public attention due to his involvement in a tragic criminal case. He was found guilty of the murder of his cousin, Zion Foster, a 17-year-old high school senior who disappeared in January 2022. The tragic case of Zion Foster. Initially, Brazier denied any involvement in Zion's disappearance, but 2 weeks later, he turned himself in to the police. He admitted that he had been with Zion on the morning of her disappearance, claiming that they had smoked together. According to his account, Zion passed out, and when he checked her pulse, she had none. He then confessed to placing her body in the trunk of his car and later disposing of it in a dumpster in Highland Park, Michigan. The dumpster was emptied the next day, and authorities spent the summer of 2022 searching a landfill in Macomb County for Zion's remains. But after 4 months, they were unable to find anything. Despite Brazier's insistence that he did not unalive Zion, the evidence presented in court was sufficient for a conviction. After a brief 30-minute jury deliberation, he was found guilty of second-degree murder and tampering with evidence May 16, 2024. Here is what we know about the case. On the evening of January 4, 2022, Zion worked a shift at the Detroit Wing Company in Eastpointe, Michigan. After her shift ended around 10 p.m., she was picked up by Sierra's boyfriend. Upon returning home that night, Zion asked her mother for permission to visit a cousin from her father's side of the family. Sierra recalled that Zion left around 10:45 p.m., carrying only a small purse and her phone. She didn't take a jacket. Her coat was still at home, Sierra mentioned. Zion sent her mother a text at 12:59 a.m., saying to indicate she was on her way home. However, 20 minutes later, she still hadn't arrived, causing Sierra to worry that something was wrong. Zion was reported missing the following day. The investigation involved several agencies, including the Eastpointe and Detroit police departments and the FBI. Authorities quickly identified Zion's cousin, Jalen Brazier, as a person of interest. "We would like to know if he has seen her," the PD chief stated at a press conference on January 19, 2022, "or if he has any information that could lead to her whereabouts." Brazier brought suspicion upon himself in the days after Zion's disappearance when he began telling Zion's mother, his aunt, as well as his own mother, that he had not seen Zion in some time. Zion's mother also explained how Brazier inserted himself into the aftermath of his cousin's disappearance and said Zion's claims about seeing him in the weeks before her death were lies. "I didn't call him. He called me on when my baby didn't come home. He called me to say, I don't know why Zion would lie and put me into this. I haven't seen her in years. I haven't seen her in months." And I'm like, "What? It wasn't too long ago that I saw you." Brazier even helped her post missing person flyers of my baby in his neighborhood, on the corner of his house, the street that he lives. In the weeks that followed, Brazier went from an ostensibly helpful and concerned helper in the search for his cousin to a person of interest in her disappearance. Months later, Brazier blamed the lie on innate fear and panic. Later that day, Brazier turned himself in for questioning. Police informed news medias that Brazier surrendered himself in Wayne County. A warrant for his arrest was then issued, and he was transferred into their custody. Brazier was brought to the Eastpointe Police Department on Saturday, January 22nd, and arraigned on Monday, January 24th, in the 38th District Court. He faced charges of lying to a peace officer in a violent crime investigation and another count of lying to a peace officer, as he initially claimed. On Wednesday, March 30th, 2022, Brazier appeared in court and accepted a plea deal on charges of lying. During the proceedings, he also admitted to disposing of his cousin's body in a dumpster weeks earlier. Brazier claimed that Zion stopped breathing while they were smoking marijuana, and he panicked, unsure of what to do. Despite extensive searches conducted by authorities in a landfill in 2022, no trace of Zion's body was found, and the search was eventually called off. Brazier went on to claim that Foster suddenly stopped breathing when the two of them were smoking marijuana. Due to his state of mind while high on the marijuana, Brazier said that he panicked and tossed her body in a nearby dumpster. My first thought was how bad it looked to start with. How do I explain what happened? I don't know why she died or what caused her to die, and just a lot of possibilities popped in my head, Brazier testified during trial. I was reacting off of just innate fear. I don't know. Literally. I don't do anything. I just didn't know what to do, literally. Literally. Did. In court, Brazier addressed the Macomb County judge, stating, "I did turn myself in. Yes, I lied. But I was not in the right state of mind." He explained that he was terrified and didn't know what to do. "I don't know exactly how she passed or what caused her to pass," Brazier said. "One minute she was fine. She was okay. She laid back for a moment, and the next thing I knew, she was gone. I don't know what caused it. I didn't cause it or anything like that. I reacted foolishly out of fear and panic, unlike anything I've ever felt before." At Brazier's sentencing, Sierra Milton, Zion's mother, delivered a victim impact statement. She expressed how she had trusted Brazier and believed he would be responsible when she allowed her daughter to visit him that January evening. "I won't get to see my baby again," Sierra said. "We will never have closure." Brazier had already been incarcerated in connection to his cousin's death. In 2022, he pleaded guilty to lying to authorities about Zion's death, telling police he hadn't seen her for weeks before changing his story and saying that he panicked and dumped her body in a dumpster when she died suddenly after the two had been smoking marijuana together. He was sentenced to up to 4 years in the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections. In 2022, before being paroled in January 2023 after serving just 10 months. In June 2023, despite Zion's body never being found, prosecutors charged Brazier with second-degree murder. They presented evidence that included cell phone data, online searches, Brazier's inconsistent statements during police interviews, and witness testimony regarding his behavior after Zion's disappearance. The jury received the case on Thursday, May 16, 2024, and after less than an hour of deliberation, they found Brazier guilty of second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Outside the courthouse after the verdict, Zion's mother, Sierra Milton, expressed her gratitude to the jury, saying, "Thank you so much for looking at the facts, for not being distracted, for not allowing yourselves to be deceived." She then addressed Brazier directly.
"Zion, the life of the party. She was my firstborn, my best friend, and you stole from me my baby. We don't just want to have justice. It won't bring her back. But at least it'll be known that you cannot do the things that he's done and get away with it."
"You thought that she didn't matter to us, and you were mistaken."
I was not in any way violent. That wasn't her at all.
This case illustrates that the defendant has no concern for anyone other than himself, including his closest family members.
Brazier was sentenced on June 3, 2024. A jury found 25-year-old Jalen Brazier guilty of second-degree murder and tampering with evidence in connection with Zion Foster's death in 2022. He was sentenced to 38 to 90 years for the murder charge and 5 to 10 years for the tampering charge. These sentences will be served consecutively. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think and leave your comment below. Click that like button and notification bell. We upload new videos every week. Take care.